All right, I am going to take you through, hopefully, a proof version because I know how to operate the technology, active reading and annotating. So this is the next step in note taking. If you're not a note taker, sometimes active reading and annotating is the better option. So for those of you that are like, I already know how to active read or I already know how to annotate, well, you probably don't do it at the collegiate level yet. So here we go. Why bother with active reading? It's an important step in the writing process. So contrary, it's more than just note taking. Contrary to popular belief, it's not just a reading process to help you slow down. It goes with collecting evidence to help you improve the writing process. And so before you craft an argument, you need to be able to go through that soapstone information. So analyze the rhetorical situation, identify key pieces of evidence, synthesize the information, put it all together. Does it make sense? Is this going to be a credible source? And so you work your way through that. And learning to be a successful active reader requires that you develop a combination of strategies that work best for you, given your goals, your task, and the particular text that you're engaging with. So if you're using scholarly articles, then active reading is a nice process to get you to slow down and really analyze the text. So, slow down. Reading rhetorically helps you identify key rhetorical features of a text. So that goes back to your soapstone. And evaluate the author's persuasive strategies in relation to their other situations, audience, and goal. So basically, take a step back and look at who is the subject? Who is the writer or the speaker? The occasion, why are they publishing this? The audience, the purpose, and so on. And you go back and then again reevaluate and decide if it is a credible source. When you read, you draw not only on the printed words and images, but also on your own experiences. So if it's a complicated text and you're not a strong reader, then that usually automatically has you go into shutdown mode. If it's something you find offensive, you don't agree with it, then sometimes that causes you to go into shutdown mode. Usually we like to read things that we're interested in, and sometimes research pushes our buttons and our own value system gets involved. And so therefore it's important to pay attention to the type of genre. Is it supposed to engage the audience? Is it supposed to make you passionate or a call to action? Or is it just your regular standard textbook? And that's why all of these sources count. You have a textbook, a blog. Easing is just an electronic magazine, scholarly article, a chapter in a book. So questions to ask about genre. So as you go through and you have your information in front of you, you go through and ask, besides just the soapstones, if we're specifically focusing on genre, what is the primary purpose of the text that you're reading? Who is the intended audience? Does the genre of the text fall into one of the categories below? And then that's if it's writing, if it's a scholarly article. For the humanities, natural or applied science, social science, or business writing. And humanities tends to be more art and history, literature-based. Social science is your psychology, sociology, the study of people. And then how are the sources used and cited? So who are their sources? What are they including in their research or their information? And then what level of formality? Is it written for, like a New York Times article they used to say was written for your average third grader. However, I don't know if people are dumber now or whatever, but sometimes depending on the text, what you read is not necessarily third grade level. And then sometimes it is. So looking at that formality of language. Guidelines for strong active reading. So first of all, be flexible. No, that doesn't mean do yoga before you start, but be flexible in your reading. Don't just shut off because it seems like it's a long piece or it's about a subject that you feel aggressive towards. Raise questions about the writer. It's okay to question their credibility. Ask questions about the intended readers. Look for clues about the text. Consider the medium or publication. So is it like People Magazine, New York Times, Washington Post, the National Enquirer, those types of things. And then in order to read actively and critically, try reading against the grain. consider things from other perspectives. So if you're a diehard liberal, that would be, you go to Fox News. If you're a diehard conservative, then you turn to MSNBC. So just considering things from a different perspective doesn't mean you have to hop on the bandwagon or join the team, but just to see it from a different point of view. And then annotating. So how to mark up the text. So basically, you go through and you find whatever annotating works for you. Some people like to underline, I like to highlight, but then sometimes it bleeds through on the next page, and then I take notes in the margins. But it's going to help you focus on what you're reading, understand the details, keep track of your thoughts and feelings, and so on. And you probably did this with literature, but now I use it as a note-taking strategy for research as well. And so step one would be to preview the text. So if you find an article about your social issue, then you go through and see when and where it was published. So was it published 10 years ago? Then it's probably not reliable anymore. Things have changed. Was it published last week? Then it's probably pretty good. What do you know about the author? If it's not at the top of the article, sometimes it's at the bottom and it gives a little bio about the author. So you check to see if they're credible. What are their credentials? What can you learn from the title? So is the title there to engage the reader, or is it just summarizing what the article is about? How can you characterize the general design and presentation of words and images? So is it wordy? Is it pretty? Those types of things. Does it look good? What can you learn from skimming? Step one, always skim. Don't dig deep into a piece if it's not going to be worth your time. So skim through and see if it's actually valuable. And then your personal response based on the preview. Are you going to keep it? Push it aside. So it's always important to preview so you're just not wasting time. And then for annotating, you go through and see if you can mark up or find the answers to these questions. So why are you reading it? Well, to get information. But you're also reading it for research, looking for something that's usually going to back your opinion. So you're looking for that evidence to support your claim. Where does the writer identify the text purpose? So you're looking for their thesis or main idea. The main points, definitions, examples, so then you go through the paragraphs, and then that's where you would mark the text and put point one or whatever. Questions that you still might have, they're writing, but they're not going to solve all the world's problems, so you might still need further research. Keywords, maybe there's a vocab word you don't know, or a keyword that stands out and you really want to quote it. Passages that seem crucial. So again, why is this one passage or paragraph stand out above the rest? The role, again, on images and graphics. So if you're looking at a particular website, are the graphics easy to read? Are certain images important to the context or content? And then your personal experiences, values, or knowledge cause you to question the author's assertions, evidence, or method. So if it goes against the grain, again, are you asking the right questions, or is the author providing questions or answers to your questions? So there we have it. And then maybe